I am the BC. I'm the CEO and founder of the Heartfelt Club, and I am joined here across the pond with Dave Johnson-Rayner. We have Mary Thomas, and we have John Woodcock with Dave. So if you guys want to take a moment and introduce yourselves.
Sure, yeah. Hello, everybody. Thanks very much for having us on, BC. Appreciate that. So I'm Dave Johnson-Rayner, founded Koi Sports just over 3 years ago now. Got to know Richie English and now working with him to try and bring what we do here in the UK over to the States to make a difference.
That's fantastic.
I'm John Woodcock. I volunteer to do a bit of work through Koi Sports. I was introduced to the wonderful Richie English. I live about 50 miles away, but took the opportunity with Rich being in the UK, and I can see him out the corner of my eye, to come up and say hello. So that's why me and Dave are sat on the sofa together.
Awesome.
And I'm Mary Thomas. I set my business up in 2009, and it's all about digital marketing. So we help individuals and businesses grow through the use of training under my Concise Training brand, or through an outsourced agency under my Concise Digital brand.
Fantastic. And where are you guys located right now?
So I'm in Oxfordshire, in Farringdon in Oxfordshire.
Awesome. Fantastic. And Mary, while I have you, let's take a moment and just kind of break down what is Concise Training.
Sure. So we offer, so on the training side of the business, we are all about helping individuals grow and understand how to use these new tools of digital marketing. So we have e-learning courses, short e-learning courses for 99 quid each, learn how to use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, that sort of thing. I do bespoke training with individuals and companies, and we also do full-length city and girls qualifications. So with those qualifications, we can help people get into a whole career in digital marketing. So we have people that, didn't really know what they wanted to do and are now being a freelancer or a consultant in digital marketing, having done our course and earning an income, flexible way for themselves. And then on the other side of our business, our award-winning, as of last night, outsourced marketing agency, we help businesses grow. So we do all their social media, we do their websites, we do their email marketing, so that they get more brand recognition and more sales.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that award. That is big time.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's
it's
super
fantastic.
exciting. Okay, so as you kind of progress through this business, what did you feel was a potential hurdle while using social media?
So what lots of people do wrong is they just talk. And, I always liken it to, you go to a party and we all know them. You go up to somebody and they just talk about themselves, and they never talk about you, and they never talk about the questions, and it's boring. It's just boring. And that's what people do on social media. It's just boring.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying, you have to have a purpose. You have to have your why.
Absolutely. You have to add value. You have to know who's listening to you and understand the person behind the screen, and why would they want to engage with you? Why bother?
Yeah, why bother? Exactly. So I also know that you have been on the podcast for Koi Sports.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. And how did that go? How did that kind of manifest itself?
So I joined Koi about 12 months ago now. I met Dave in a networking meeting, one of these virtual ones that we were doing at the time, and really like I've done a lot of networking in the past 13 years. I've been in business, and I really like the way Koi, they do the networking, but there's more value to it. You so much of your membership goes towards grassroots sports, and I support my local cheerleading club, for example. But then we also get to meet people in sport organizations and helping mental health around the world. So I'm helping a Football Without Borders in Kenya. I bought them a sewing machine so they could learn how to sew, but then also create period panties, which meant girls could take part in sport and girls could go to school.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely, as I've talked with David and with John and, Koi Sports in general, I think it's really impressive how their mission is to serve local communities, and serve communities in general, just having that kind of grass sports from the root up to really help people. And what you're touching on as well, I think it's extremely impressive how you're able to reach so far with not only what you have, because of that purpose that you have within you,
Yeah. And it's all about, and then the people within the network all want to do that. So, I think most of us within the network have said that, if we start doing business with each other, then a proportion of the profits will go to back to COI or back to the grassroots sports or anything else. And it's all people wanting to help, wanting to have that extra, that why, I guess, going back to that why.
Yeah. So the Heartfelt Club, what you touched on really speaks to me. We at the Heartfelt Club just did a fundraiser for the Unhoused and Hunger Awareness Week. And we were able to, bring in some money and produce care packages and then actually go out and hand them out to the community. And within that, I've been connected with the community out here and Project Coffee Cup, which is already doing an amazing job at helping local communities. But it really touches on the fact that it doesn't have to be a giant, big gesture. You can help someone really more simply than I think people imagine. It can be a simple connecting and then actually, offering them a kind word, and that can go miles. Or here's a cup of water.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. And so, as you were saying, you actually sponsor local cheerleading. Can you speak a little bit?
So, we've got one of my members of staff's daughter goes to this cheerleading club. So, we're helping sponsor some of their work this year to allow them to help more girls and boys to do cheerleading, because it's a sport that is, it's a sport as good as any other sport, but it's a bit different. And it's quite exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So, Mary, when did you kind of catch this humanitarian helpful bug? When did this start in your life?
I mean, I guess it's always been there to some extent. I've always been involved in various charities, and when my kids were little, I raised money. We raised £100,000 for our local preschool to buy a new preschool. So I've always done a bit of it. I belong to my local Rotary Club, so we raised £500 last weekend. Actually, we have a tombola and a cafe and stuff. We have a big lights. Well, not big. It's a small town. We have a lights turning on session in our small town, and we got £500 doing that. And I'm out tomorrow night all the way through December. We have somebody many years ago in the Rotary Club created I want to say it's about a quarter size Thomas the Tank engine. Thomas the Tank. Well, if you can imagine a huge, great Thomas the Tank, and then it's about a quarter size. So it goes on a trailer. And he and Santa go around the local community raising money. So that's tomorrow night's job.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting.
Fantastic.
Huge.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we have the boys. The boys are back in town.
Listening
How
in.
long?
Dave and John, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, really good.
It looks like we have that spotty connection. I'm going to try and give you space to talk about koi sports. So we'll give it 2 seconds and see if we can hear you. Otherwise, we'll move along. Do we have you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's all right. Well, Mary, that is super exciting what you have going on. Also, I just think with regard to concise training, it is something that is so important, because as we progress, so does technology. So you're allowing so many people to kind of chase their dreams in a more realistic way. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what we try to do. It's because we have the agency and the training. What we try to do is we teach everybody when they come on the training everything that we do with clients within our agency. So it's real life, it's real practical, and then they can go away and what happens is they start talking about the course to their friends and family. And then, you know, I had somebody the other day saying, oh, I've just picked up my first 3 clients and we're 4 months into the course and, you know, oh my God, what should I do? So we support them through the whole process. And then they can fly, because if you do it right, you can fly. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that is super exciting. So I also think it's important to touch on the fact that social media sometimes can have that negative effect on mental health. You know, and it sounds like you're definitely within that realm of really wanting to support mental health and help people through that. Is that something you address within your course?
It is. I mean, the course is very much focused on doing it for business.
Gotcha.
But we do talk about how you look after yourself when you're using it. Yeah.
Very awesome. All right, the boys are back.
Boys are back.
Trying again.
Quickly, as quick as you can go. Tell us about Koi Sports.
Well, I think what you've seen there really through Mary, who's one of what we call our elite champion members, is the business community coming together and not thinking necessarily about their bottom line profits. It's about giving something back to enhance their reputation, both as an individual and a business. And you can see through what Mary's doing there, the exact kind of caliber of business that we want within this network, because they'll pay us a membership fee for us to reinvest into the grassroots sports sector to deliver positive social change. But then, as Mary showed with the purchase of a sewing machine for football initiative in Kenya, so much more good can come out of that. So all of a sudden, it's not about enhancing a reputation. It's about doing what's right and giving back.
Wow. Fantastic. And would you guys mind touching on grassroots sports sector? What's going on in there, and maybe to our viewers who are less familiar?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we try to promote the big 4 over here in the UK, your footballs, your rugby, your cricket, etc., etc., etc. But we give the choice of where the reinvestment of a member's fee goes to the business owner. So like with Mary, she wanted to support cheerleading. So now we're starting to help make cheerleading more affordable and accessible, and sustaining and growing clubs like Swindon Lightning, to be able to open that up to those people that don't want to play the big 4 sports here in the UK. Now you're creating opportunity, and you're creating something different for a local community to get involved in physical activity, to have fun, but to improve their physical and mental health through participation.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And so with this, how did this all start for you? When did you realize this was kind of your calling and you wanted to give back in this way?
When all of a sudden I realized I had to polish my halo. It slipped a little bit. I've had an interesting life. So it was time to stop taking and start giving back. So giving back, not only does it make you feel good, but when you start to see the difference that a small injection of financial or non-financial support can make to local communities and to the individuals within socially deprived areas, individuals that aren't able-bodied, and those that have mental health issues, when you start to see the difference that actually makes, then for me, it's a natural thing to want to do as a human being, to give back. And businesses, there are some fantastic business owners out there doing fantastic things. Mary's an award-winning business, but she gives back. It's not all about profit in the back pocket. It's about giving some of those profits back. And if you can give profits back, you watch the benefits flow. The benefits shouldn't be about the money first and foremost, not always. It should always be about giving back, and see what that does for your business. It's huge.
Yes, that is great advice. And John, if I have this correct, you are the charity development specialist.
Well, I'll take that. Thank you. And we'll just we'll keep that going as long as possible. Yeah, I think I like Dave. I've had quite an eclectic sort of background. My background is predominantly in the commercial world. And I own my own business for about 7 or 8 years, where I was helping out small businesses, and I did a little bit with charities. And then as time sort of moved on, I started to do more and more with charities, wanted to help them develop, look at things differently, and be a little bit more innovative. And about 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Dave, and he highlighted what COI was all about, what he wanted to do. I think in about 2 minutes, I just went, yeah, I'm in. How can I help? I'm happy to volunteer. And through that, I've kind of I throw up loads of different ideas to Dave. He takes some of those. And then I think one of those madcap ideas was the radio show.
Yeah.
That we both sort of do. And we recorded within communities, and the both of them together drive positivity, as far as I'm concerned. Communities need that kind of sports, whether it's the big four like there are in the UK, whether it's cheerleading, whatever it may well be. It brings people together, and when you've got good people doing great things, only positiveness can come out of it. And that's kind of what COI Sports is looking to do, what it does here in the UK, what it does on a global scale. And Mary touched on it earlier on. The purchase of one item, which I don't know how much, I can't remember
80.
how much.
80 quid.
Yeah, so £80 to buy that one item that will have such a positive impact on so many people. That's kind of why what Dave's inspiration is for COI Sports. Why wouldn't I want to be involved in something like that?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And as I can see, you guys are really spreading that light as far as you can. So with that being said, the podcast, as you have it, when you bring guests on, what is kind of the main purpose?
So the podcast really is a member benefit. So what we're doing is we're going out to the private sector and saying, pay us a membership fee, buy a package of business benefits. And what we'll do is we'll reinvest 100% of our profits. We'll cover our costs, but we'll reinvest 100% of our profits back into your chosen grassroots sports club. But what in essence then you do is you bring the private sector and the grassroots sports sector closer together, help them form a relationship, help promote both the business and the sports club. One of the ways we do that is by putting them on a podcast. That podcast then goes out to encourage others to do the same. But now you're marketing your business, and now you're marketing your sports club. It's just a very simplistic way of giving back. But we don't accept every single business. Mary is a very special person. John is a very special person, as are the rest of our members. They have to kind of come through me and this ridiculous beard first before they can actually become a member of COI Sports. We only accept the right people, those that want to give back.
Yes, someone that has a vision that aligns with yours.
Absolutely, yeah. And then you find that elite athletes, I mean, here in the UK, there's a little football club by the name of Leicester City. They went and won the Premier League, soccer Premier League 4 or 5 years ago now. And the captain of the team became an ambassador. He was impressed by what we were doing. And he helps us to promote our businesses. He helps us to promote our cause. And he will do one-to-one support with some of the communities that we're working with. He'll go out and he'll join recently a boot camp where we had special education needs students, and we were utilising sport to bring those individuals together. Better than playing sport than actually out there doing naughty things. Now, if Wes Morgan in Leicester turns up to see those young adults, it's wow, hang on a minute. Yeah. And so now it makes a difference. Now you're combining grassroots sports, business to fund it, and elite athletes. And now you have a beautiful synergy that just delivers something extremely positive, and everybody benefits. Win, win, win.
Yeah, that's a beautiful plan. I'm glad it's like coming to fruition for you guys. Now, I want to ask all of you, how does like mental health look within your field?
Mary?
How does it look within my field? Well, yeah, as you said, social media is an issue. Mental health is a huge issue, and people have to learn how to deal with it. It is something that we do cover in the course. As I say, we generally use social media for marketing, for business, rather than personal use. But it's still something that we cover. And the other side of mental health, actually, which is really interesting at the moment, is home working. So we are, and always have been, a home working business model. My staff work at home and always have done. That's how I set the business up. But mental health and home working is a whole nother issue these days that perhaps hasn't been covered.
John, you want to go mental health?
Well, mental health within in sort of charity land, it's needed. I mean, if you look at the amount of work that charities and non-profits have had to do, especially over the last 18 months, through lockdowns and pandemic, they're never more needed, never been needed more within that period of time. Massively underfunded, but so very needed on a 24/7 basis, 365 days a year. It is going to have a huge impact on everybody. So they need an outlet. They need people to talk to, and they need the right people to talk to. So it can have negative and positive impacts. I'm a big advocate for mental health awareness. I suffer from anxiety and depression. I'm not as bad as I used to be many years ago, but ultimately, having spoken to the right people about it, I'm a recovering depressive. I think is probably the best way to put it. The same way as a recovering alcoholic. Every single day, I wake up with a smile on my face. I go to sleep with a smile on my face.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's okay.
Go ahead, David.
I think for me, Brianna, this is where sport can really come into its own, because mental health is such an issue, and it's not an issue in any one country. It's an issue across the world. Now, what can help support mental health? Physical activity. So you have mental health issues across the world. You now have sport across the world, and all different sorts of sport. So if businesses, whether it be through koi sports or otherwise, invest into grassroots sport to get to local communities, now you're able to tackle a worldwide pandemic with something as enjoyable and as interesting and as fun as sport. And that doesn't matter what that sport is. Mental health is something which can be addressed. Some people have bigger issues than others, but there is a common denominator here, that if you want to help support those with mental health, get them active. Doesn't matter what that activity is. If it's sport, fantastic for me, because I think that's not the cure, because I don't think there is a cure. But if you understand what I mean, it's so important to give people every opportunity, remove all of the barriers to be able to become physically active, reduce costs so that people can access sport and just watch. That will make such a huge difference.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing point. And providing that safe space and accessibility for all is huge. 100%. Now, before we bring on the man, the myth himself, Richie, I do want to give you guys the opportunity, if the audience takes away one sentence from you guys today, what would you want that to be?
For me, it would be give back. 2 words, give back, simple.
I think for me, it would be work together. It's that collaborative working model. Everybody can help each other, whatever it may well be. Everybody can help each other.
No.
BC, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to remove myself. What you are doing is absolutely fantastic in the world of mental health. And I just want to give the Heartfelt Club a mention. You don't need me on the show. This beard is coming off, and it will go on to the Heartfelt Club link. Everybody, I really want you to check in, make a donation. And I've got a little bit of echo going, but you know me, Richie English and technical issues. BC, absolute rock star. Mary, Dave, John. The village is growing, and it's because of people like yourself we keep on our crusade. Richie English signing off. BC Rockstar.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Mary, if we can snag your sentence before we head out.
I think it's help. I think it's help whatever you can, because it will always come back in some way or another.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. As we touched upon, help provide that accessibility, those safe spaces, and let's keep working together to make the world a little bit more heartfelt.
Thank you, Brianna.
Thank
Thank
you.
You did a great job.
Cheers.